Thanks for staying with us. So we're still following up on this incident rape and sexual molestation matter. And we have on the show with us the police public relations officer, Mr. Frank Mba, to discuss 3 salient reasons why rape investigations fail and what to do when rape incidences occur, because it's so much we can speak about it emotionally. However, we must understand what must be done when these things happen. Welcome with us, Mr. Frank Mba. Good morning, sir. Are you there?
Mariah, good morning, and a very warm day to all our listeners out there.
Yes. All right, so very quickly, I mean, all week we've been talking about this issue, Uwa, Tina, Justina, and the others, the issue of rape. And one of the key things people have complained about is the fact that it's difficult to prosecute the perpetrators because of lack of evidence. And obviously, they always blame the police a lot of times for not doing their due diligence or to support and help young ladies that have gone these kind of situations. Now, as a PRO police, tell us, what are the things that we as citizens can do to ensure that your investigations are effective and accurate?
Okay, thank you for this opportunity. And let me join you and all other well-meaning global citizens to condemn all variants of rape. Rape is a very serious criminal offense. Rape is not fun, and rape is not sex, and rape is not lovemaking. Rape is violence. It is a very extreme form of torture. It is a life-threatening event. It is totally humiliating. As a matter of fact, you can describe rape as robbery of another person's essence, another person's dignity, and the worst form of assault on any woman. So it is a serious thing. Unfortunately for us, it is also one of those crimes that has posed a lot of problems in managing, in preventing, in investigating sometimes, and in successfully prosecuting. Apart from the challenges we have that has to do with the fact that a lot of times most cases of rape are unreported. As a matter of fact, some statistics say that between 50 to 90% of rape cases are unreported. It is even worse when there are cases that have to do with incest and the molestation of children. A lot of these cases are unreported. Of course, we know all the reasons they give, the fear of stigmatization, the fear of reprisal attack by the rapist, and all kinds of reasons we give, fear of secondary victimization by legal and probably medical authorities. Right. Of course, some of these reasons are genuine, but a whole lot of them are also as a matter of perception that are purely based on misinformation. Right. But for me, the fundamental problem for us as investigators are 3. Number 1 is the fact that a lot of rape cases are reported very late. Okay. And the fact that they are reported late impacts on the quality and the success of investigation. Okay. Unlike other crimes, the longer you stay in reporting a rape case, the higher the probability or the chances that evidence and the crime scene will be mismanaged. Although there is no statute bar limiting the time you can report a rape case, you can even report it 12 months later. But the earlier you report a rape case, the better and the higher the chances of success.
Right.
Okay, sir, so I wanted to ask you a question. There's this belief that people have that the police don't have, the Nigerian police force do not have enough gadgets or enough science to investigate crimes of rape the way we see developed countries do. Like, you know, check the fingerprints, you know, be able to verify days after, because we know that the semen can be active even within the woman's private part after days that it can be checked. But in Nigeria, you have to do that rape kits immediately. If you don't, they say you've lost the evidence. Why does it seem like is it that the Nigerian police force don't have enough capacity to investigate rape cases in detail, or are we mismanaging the information, or give us the right information, sir?
Okay, thank you again, Mariah, for this question. And this takes me to the most important part of rape investigation, which is the management of the crime scene. Okay. As a matter of fact, in most crimes, or virtually in all crimes, how the crime scene is managed determines the success of the investigation. Okay. And people must remember that rape cases are even very special, in the sense that in a rape case, there are two immediate crime scenes. The first crime scene is the physical place where the crime took place, whether it's in a room, whether it's a car, whether it's in a bush path. That particular place where the crime took place, whether it's in a church, like in the case of Uwa, that place is a major crime scene. The second crime scene is the body of the woman. In fact, the body of the victim is a walking crime scene. It is a living crime scene. It's a mobile crime scene. And how we manage both the physical crime scene as well as that living crime scene will determine the success of our investigation. Now, let me give a few tips on how we can manage this, because oftentimes, before the police get to the crime scene, a lot of persons have messed up the crime scene. Whenever there is a rape, and we don't pray that there should be one, the first thing we do is leave the crime scene, the physical crime scene, intact. Don't adulterate them. Don't take anything out of the place. Don't alter the position of any object there. Don't touch anything. Don't even flush the toilet. If there is a condom pack there or a used condom, don't even touch it. And for the body of the woman, don't shower, don't dodge, don't change your clothing. And if it is a case where we suspect, for example, that is a date rape where probably drug was used, or a drug-induced or drug-facilitated rape, then the woman has additional responsibility to make sure that he doesn't pee, he doesn't urinate, except it is a situation where if she doesn't urinate, she might suffer something. She will need to urinate in the hospital, because the first urine after that incident might help us to determine the kind of drug that was laced in her drink. And if, for example, you are suspecting that it is a drug-induced rape, don't dispose any glass cup there. Don't dispose any, whether it's Ribena, whether it's Coke, whether it's wine, leave it there for us. So, majorly, this is the major problem we have in Nigeria. You get to the crime scene, the whole place is messed up, and then even when you begin to take fingerprints, you collect multiple fingerprints, and your investigation runs into very murky waters.
Okay, sir, so how does the police plan to start protecting the testimony of the victim? Because we know that over time, the memory may lose out some of the information, and you don't have the ability to recall exactly. And that's what happens when, for instance, the case gets to court. Because it's past time, they may not remember exactly how it happened sequentially. So how do you intend to start protecting the testimony? Then secondly, a lot of people withdraw the cases. That's the victims, survivors now decide to withdraw the case even when the rapist has been identified. What do you think is the likely cause of that?
Okay, thank you again. You are taking me into two very important aspect. Protecting the testimony or protecting the memory or refreshing the memory of the victim are facilitated by two things.
Okay.
Again, if the victim reports the case on time, what we do is we take evidence, we take the statement of the victim.
Okay.
Sometimes these days we don't just take written evidence or written statement. We may also record. We may also do an audio taping of the testimony of the victim.
Okay.
So whenever and wherever we are about to begin the prosecution of the suspect, we will give the victim ample opportunity to refresh her memory. There is what we call pre-trial meeting, where the victim will be allowed to look at the statement she made years ago or months ago or weeks ago and refresh her memory.
Right.
Where you have major problems in terms of memory losses are one, when the case is reported months after the incident, in which case, even as at the time of reporting, the victim might not remember a whole lot of things. And it is only what the victim tells the police that the police can work with.
Let me pause you for a second. We'll go to number 2. I have to go on a quick break. Stay with us. We'll be right back, sir. Thanks for staying with us. We still have the PRO for the police, Mr. Frankenbach, on the phone. He was going to answer the second part of the question.
Why victims pull out of investigations even when the perpetrators have been identified?
I think, again, this is actually the most worrisome trend. And sometimes people don't also understand that policemen are also very emotional people. There is nothing that hurts a police officer, a police detective, an investigator, or a prosecutor. Like when you have your case wrapped up, you've worked so hard to put up evidence together. You are very, very sure that you have a watertight case. And then as at the time you are about to initiate prosecution or halfway into prosecution, you discover that the families of the victim are pulling out. And even in cases where we refuse to accede to their request to terminate the prosecution, they come to the court and they become hostile witnesses. And clearly they will frustrate you. I don't know if I have time, but let me just give you a live example. When I started my career, the second year into my career, I was working at Trinity Police Station in Apapa, and we had this case of the defilement of a young girl that was just about 10. That girl was hawking oranges when one big guy took her to an uncompleted building and got her defiled. We went into investigation. I was assigned that case as a young investigative police, as a young investigating police officer. We worked so hard with other persons, established a clear case, and when we were about to initiate prosecution, the families reached an agreement with the suspect, collected some sums of money, and told us that they were withdrawing. And this kind of thing happened every time. I remember I cried my eyes dry. And some other policemen, because I was just a rookie, and some other policemen were just making fun of me and telling me, you haven't seen nothing yet, and you just need to learn to deal with these situations. And these are the things that happen every day, and it can be very, very frustrating.
Okay, because of time, we'd have to wrap up on this, but I wanted to ask a final question concerning the reception people receive at the police stations. It seems that the police are not very receptive. They ask you for mobility money to start investigation. They open the file, they waste your time, they almost even frustrate the beginning of the investigation. And Chaka was going to add a bit to that question also.
Yes, like how many police, I know that we've had this discussion before, that not all police stations have the rape kits that is maybe divisional. Is it true? Does every police station have the capacity to handle a rape case?
Yeah.
What we've done over time is to raise it a generation of officers who are trained and given some specialization in investigating rape cases. But the honest truth is that every police station can act as a first responder. But as soon as you take in the person, you give the person the necessary advice, you are expected to transfer these cases to stations that have the accredited gender units. And that is how it should be. I must admit here, and very regrettably so, that out of the nearly 400,000 police officers we are not a collection of angels. And there are some police officers that you will meet and you feel so bad that things are happening that way. But there are majority of policemen out on the street in the police station are fathers, they are brothers, they are sisters, they are mothers, they are aunties. Some of them are even grandmothers and grandfathers. And they understand the implication of a woman being raped. None of them will wish their daughter, their wife, their sisters to be raped. And so they bring that passion to bear when they handle cases like that.
Okay, well, I have to let you go now, but I want to be sure I understand what you said much earlier. So, for example, in the Uwas case, so a crime scene happened at the church. She was raped, and at that moment, she was actually injured. At that time, she hadn't passed on. So when the first person that comes into that space, first of all, first thing you do is obviously get the hospital or get somebody to take her to the hospital. But immediately that is done, you call the police that a crime has happened here. Though she didn't die, something happened. So the police should have been alerted immediately so that that place would have been cordoned off.
Yes.
So that things would not be tampered with. Because they took her to the hospital and she didn't die until Saturday. So between that Wednesday and Saturday, it is possible that a lot of things were tampered with in that church. So you're saying that when a crime happens, immediately a police should be alerted. Is that what you're telling us, sir?
Exactly. Gotcha. You get it correctly. All right. We must maintain the near virginity of the crime scene. Right. We must leave the crime scene in its purest, uncontaminated, and pristine form. Right. As much as possible. Even the approaching pattern, the road, the exit point, the entry point, we must leave everything intact. No matter how scattered things are in the crime scene, leave them that way, because we understand when we come in. Right. Because when we look at the way they are scattered, it can help us to reconstruct the crime scene and give us a very good sense of what might have transpired or happened in that crime scene.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. We appreciate your call and input this morning. We've been speaking with the PRO of the police, Mr. Frank Mba. And I think not just for rape crimes, something as small as somebody poured water on your house help. Somebody spanked a child, or maybe those little things, as small as it is. Yeah. Once you're calling the police, leave it as it is, because it will help their investigation. Because the more they have an airtight investigation, the more prosecutions we have, and then we can put these people behind bars.
They also need to respond on time. So sometimes you go there to lay a complaint, and then they delay you because you have to pay to open the file and have to pay for this and pay for that. So if they respond on time, things will be left that way till they get there.
And another thing is, our lawmakers are looking into the laws concerning how to punish rape cases. Obiajulu already said that we should have different degrees. First degree rape, second degree rape. I totally agree. I also believe that at the end of the day, we need to look into the procedure we've laid out for the police to prove rape cases. Somebody cannot be raped in Alagbado or raped in Ikorodu, and you say that, oh, she was raped, she won't take her bath, she will carry herself that way. Let's say her clothes were turned. She doesn't have her own car. She's going to carry herself like that and go to the police station regardless of the distance. There is no way the evidence will be tampered with. It is messy. And I know the PRO is a man, he might have emotions, but as a woman, when you've been abused like that,
You want to
just wash.
Yeah.
That's the first thing you want to do. And very rarely will somebody be able to just say, I will carry my body like that and go to the police station.
Okay, we have to
there
wrap
are
up.
ways we can do these things. It can't be that you cannot wash yourself. You can. And we must be able to use technology to do this thing better.
Okay, well, I don't want to... let me take this final call before I go on a break. Okay. Good morning, call from Kaduna. Thanks for calling.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Caller.
Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Sorry, about this rape issue they're discussing. There was an incident that happened in Kaduna, around Mando area. There's this rape case they took to police station. The woman went to police station like, my daughter has been raped, and this is the person that raped her. They know the person. The woman knows the person. So she went to police station to report. On reaching there, she told them what happened. She narrated the scenario, and they were like, okay, she has to pay for biro to write down the statement first. Then she has to pay for paper that they are going to write the statement on. Then she will fuel their car to go and carry the raper. Can you imagine this? One of my colleagues was there. He just ran to the office. He was just supposed to see what is happening in my. I said, what happened? He was just just that this is what happened. See what police are requesting for to go on. Do you know what happened? After that, they now asked the woman, where is the man living? Where is his location? She gave them all the details. You understand? These people now told her that they cannot go. They cannot go and carry the person. She should go when she have money for biro and other things. Then she can come back. Did you know what these police people did? They went behind this woman and go and meet the man and collected 10,000 naira from him and asked the man to run away.
When was this?
They went and connived with the man that he should pay 10,000 naira and run away because this man is already...
When did this happen?
If they didn't do it, somewhere like a year back.
We need to report
the guy, he
these
came
things.
to us, he couldn't hold himself for there. There's a story I want to just see. From that place, he has called me, from the police station. He went there for a different thing, but I'm telling you, when he was so...
Thank you so much for sharing your story. I'm sure Frankomba is listening, and these are some of the cleanups that need to happen in the police stations and the reorientation of our police officers and how to ensure. And that's why I was asking about the test kits, rape kits, and all that. We need to ensure that many of our stations have these things so that they can know how to care for these rape victims. Let's go on a break right now. When we come back, we have other topics to talk about. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
You can watch Your View on TVC every Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Nigerian time on DSTV channel 418, GOTV channel 27 and channel 47, StarTimes channel 121 and channel 307, Play TV channel 801 and channel 190, UHF 49, Sky channel 515 for UK viewers. Watch live on Facebook at TVC Connect and on our website tvcentertainment.tv/livestream.